All right, guys, so it is metal time. You can see I got a pretty nice offset I got to make there. Right now it's hanging in the back, so that's going to go up. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start with the sides. So I'm going to level this out. I'm going to take a measurement from here to here, because the front and the back of the coil are the same distance from the front of here and the back of the plenum. So I'll be able to make a piece here just based off that measurement. I'm going to go 1 inch inside the slip and then sit it tight to the top of the coil, and then same thing over here. And then I'll show you guys, once that's in, I'll show you guys how to get these front pieces with the offset on it. Got my side pieces on. So after I made that video before, I looked at it. It's actually off a hair. So there was a little transition going back. I'm not going to, mess up your heads and post a 4-way transition right away. We're just going to start with these two. That way you guys don't get all confused. So right now we're going to go to the back. I'm going to measure this height from here to the inside of my slip up there. Then I'm going to measure my farthest point of the coil all the way over to about here, but down there. So it'll be from there to that distance down, and then that'll be my piece. But I'm going to add 2 inches on it. That way I can have a 1 inch fold going on each side. But after I cut that piece out, I'm going to put it over there. I'm going to trace it. Then we're going to take it down. We're going to cut it, put our folds, then put it back in. It's basically a fail-safe. You can't mess this up. It saves time, if you don't want to sit there and do math and measure and whatnot. So let's do this. So those measurements were about 25 by 13. So like I said, you want to add an extra inch on each side. So that 25 is going to turn into 27. One more right there. And then 13. So we're going to go from the bottom. If you have a lip already, don't go from the top. And go from the bottom. Because that lip's going to add a little extra something. It's going to be just enough to mess you up. So we'll go 13. So I'm going to trace those, cut it out, put it up there, and then we'll get it going. So I got my piece here. I'm going to put that in place, and then we're going to let it hang over 1 inch on that side, 1 inch on this side from down here. Then we're going to trace that from the other side and then take it back down. So this is what it has before you mark it and cut it. But now it's there, right? So all you got to do is take your marker, once I find it, and then you're going to trace. Just going to draw right here, right over the slip. And that's where you need to measure off of 1 inch. So you're going to take this down. You're going to measure off of this 1 inch. You're going to cut that and then fold it. And you're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to go over there. I'm going to trace that right now. Now I'm going to take that piece back down, cut it, fold it, and then cross brakes, and then we'll put it back in, and then that'll be the back of the transition. So that's what it looks like when you take it down. You got your lines. So I'm going to come out about 1 inch. I'm going to trace that. That'll be where I cut on the outside one. And same thing over here. Trace that 1 inch. I'm going to cut that and then fold those. So that's what you should be left with when you're done. I'll fingerprint it up. So now we're going to go, these sides will slide it in the slip 1 inch, and the top will be in the slip, and then the bottom will just get screwed in. So that's the piece. When it's screwed in, nice and pretty. Now let's go over the front. So the front is going to be pretty much the same thing as the back. So I'm going to measure from the furthest point here to here, right about down. So that's going to leave me, I'll probably do it from up top a little easier. You just pretty much guesstimate. It doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be spot on. You're going to cut it down anyway. So that is about 25, same as the other one. I'll go 27. And you just need the height, just 13. So 13 is going to stay true. The side that's going to be 27, you're going to cut that down. Once it's up and you trace your lines, you'll know exactly where to cut it. Got my piece. 1 inch longer than it needs to be. It might even be a little more than 1 inch, but you're going to start this here, put it in the other side of the slip all the way to the top, finagle the bagel, get that in there. There you go. That's completely in. So I'm 1 inch over here, and all this is going to have to get cut out. So you grab your marker, Then you're gonna you could trace it from the back side so you can go along the slip. So I got my marker back there right now, just drawing a line in the corner where those two pieces of metal meet. And you're gonna do the same thing on the other side. And then you're gonna take this piece back down. And there's your lines, right? So you're gonna do the same thing you did on the back. You're gonna take this down, you're gonna take it out wherever you're doing your metal work. You're gonna measure 1 inch off that, and then cut that, inch off that, cut that. And then you're gonna fold those in, make your cross bakes, whatnot, notch your corners 1 inch before you make those folds. And then once that piece is ready, you're gonna put it in the top and then slide it in the side slips. So let's get that done. I'll show you how that works right now. So when you cut your piece, you're left with this. You got 1 inch fold on each side, you got your breaks in it. Then you're gonna start with the top and one side and then feed the other side in. So I'm gonna start here. Slam that into the top, make sure that side's in, it doesn't pop out. And I'm gonna start this side and I push the whole thing up. And that's in. So you could caulk before you put this on, you can caulk after, it makes no difference. But that's how you do it. So you're gonna screw here, here, and then the sides will be secure because these two screws will stop that from ever moving. And at the same time, this front piece is easily removable if you ever have to get to the top of the coil or in the ductwork.